The Discovery Beyond the Edge. Captain Maya Chen stood on the observation deck of the research vessel Artemis, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling anomaly that marked the edge of what star charts labeled as the Dark Expanse. Behind her, the crew worked in hushed tones, their faces illuminated by the blue glow of holographic displays that filled the circular command center. She could feel the tension in the air, thick enough to cut with a knife. "Anything new from the long-range scanners, Dr. Okafor?" she asked, not turning away from the viewport. The science officer looked up from her station, her expression troubled. "Nothing conclusive, Captain. The Dark Expanse continues to defy our instruments. Energy readings fluctuate wildly, and we've lost 3 more probe drones without receiving any data." Maya nodded, having expected this answer. For centuries, this region of space had consumed ships without a trace. Research vessels, military patrols, even desperate refugees fleeing the Centauri conflict, all vanished upon entering the swirling darkness that seemed to devour light itself. The Galactic Council had declared it forbidden space after losing an entire science fleet 20 years ago. No survivors, no distress calls, nothing but silence. Yet here they were, the Artemis hovering at the edge of the abyss, prepared to do what no one had successfully done before. "Captain, you should see this." Lieutenant Riza Khan's voice cut through her thoughts. The communications officer's fingers danced across his console as he transferred the data to the main display. "We're picking up a signal, but it doesn't match any known communication protocols." The bridge fell silent as a pulsing wave pattern appeared on the central hologram, rising and falling in a complex but clearly deliberate pattern. Dr. Okafor moved closer, her eyes wide. "That's impossible. The pattern is too precise to be natural, but it's not using any frequency modulation we've ever documented." Maya studied the signal, a chill running down her spine despite the perfectly regulated temperature of the bridge. "Where is it coming from?" Riza hesitated before answering. "From inside the Dark Expanse, Captain. Approximately 3 light hours in." "How long has it been broadcasting?" "That's the strange part," Dr. Okafor interjected, adjusting her displays. "Based on the signal degradation, it appears to have been repeating for at least 50,000 years." A murmur ran through the bridge crew. Maya felt her pulse quicken. This was it, the discovery they had risked everything for. After months of analyzing historical data, tracking patterns in the void, and retrofitting the Artemis with experimental shielding based on ancient Martian colony archives, they had found something that might justify their career-ending decision to violate Galactic Council directives. "Could it be a warning?" asked Commander Eli Torres, her second-in-command, his weathered face creased with concern. "Something telling us to stay away." Maya considered this, but shook her head. A warning signal would be designed for immediate recognition. This is different. It feels like an invitation. She turned to address the entire bridge crew. "We all volunteered for this mission, knowing we might never return. The Artemis is humanity's most advanced research vessel, and we have a chance to solve a mystery that has claimed thousands of lives. If anyone wants to remain behind with the jump shuttle, now's the time to decide." No one moved. These people, scientists, explorers, the best Earth had to offer, had come too far to turn back now. Maya nodded, pride swelling in her chest. "Navigation. Plot a course following that signal. Shields at maximum. Let's make history." As the Artemis crossed the threshold into the Dark Expanse, the ship's systems flickered momentarily before stabilizing. The view outside transformed. Stars vanished, replaced by a deep purple haze that seemed to swirl and shift around them like living plasma. "Shields holding at 87%, reported Engineer Zhu from her station. "Some kind of energy field is interacting with our systems, but the isolation protocols are working." For 6 hours they pushed deeper, following the mysterious signal that grew stronger with each passing minute. The ship's AI constantly adjusted their course, navigating through shifting energy currents that would have torn apart lesser vessels. Twice they encountered dense pockets of what Dr. Okafor termed exotic matter, substances that defied classification and caused the hull to vibrate at frequencies that set everyone's teeth on edge. When they finally reached the signal source, no one was prepared for what awaited them. "My God," whispered Commander Torres, standing beside Maya at the viewport. Before them floated a massive structure, a perfect sphere composed of interlocking geometric shapes that shifted and realigned themselves in slow, hypnotic patterns. Measuring nearly 15 kilometers in diameter, it dwarfed their vessel like a planet the size of a grain of sand. Its surface gleamed with a metallic luster that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously, creating a disorienting visual effect. "No signs of propulsion systems," reported Dr. Okafor, her voice barely above a whisper. "No radiation signature. No heat emissions. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was dormant. Or waiting," Maya added, unable to shake the feeling that they were being observed. "Are there any entry points? Docking bays?" Before anyone could answer, a beam of brilliant blue light shot from the sphere, enveloping the Artemis in a glow that penetrated every deck. The ship's systems went into immediate lockdown as alarms blared throughout the vessel. "Captain, we're being scanned." Engineer Zhu shouted over the chaos. "Something is accessing our databases, downloading information faster than our firewalls can respond." Maya gripped the command rail as the ship shuddered violently. "Isolate critical systems. Protect the crew, manifests, and Earth coordinates at all costs." But as quickly as it began, the scan ended. The blue light retracted, and the alarms fell silent, leaving only the sound of heavy breathing and the gentle hum of the ship's engines. "Status report," Maya demanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Systems restoring," Zhu replied, fingers flying across her console. "No damage detected, but, Captain, our database has been copied. They have everything. Our history, our sciences, our art, everything we brought with us about human civilization." Before Maya could process this information, the view screen activated itself, displaying an image that caused everyone on the bridge to freeze in place. A figure stood there, humanoid but clearly not human. Its body was sleek and tall, with skin that seemed to shift between various shades of deep blue and purple, matching the surrounding void. Eyes like swirling galaxies studied them without blinking, and when it spoke, its voice resonated directly in their minds, rather than through the ship's audio systems. "You are the first to answer. After so many cycles, you have finally come." Maya swallowed hard, stepping forward. "I am Captain Maya Chen of the Earth research vessel Artemis. We received your signal and came to investigate." The beam tilted its head, an oddly human gesture that seemed out of place on its alien features. "Not my signal. The progenitor's call. A test that has awaited response for countless revolutions of your galaxy." "A test?" Maya asked, struggling to understand. "What kind of test?" "A test of worthiness. Many species have detected the signal. Many have entered this realm. None have survived to reach the source, until now." A chill ran down Maya's spine. What happened to the others? The beam's colors darkened slightly. They were found wanting. "But you, humans, you are different. Your minds work unlike any species we have encountered. Your curiosity outweighs your fear. This is unexpected." "And who are you?" Commander Torres asked, stepping up beside Maya. "We are the Voidwalkers, guardians of this place, keepers of the final trial." Dr. Okafor moved closer to the screen, her scientific curiosity overcoming her apprehension. "Are you saying that this entire region of space, the dark expanse, was created as some kind of cosmic filtration system?" "Created, yes. By those who came before, those who seeded the stars and wished to find worthy inheritors. We were tasked with ensuring only the deserving would pass." Maya's mind raced with implications. "And what happens now that we've reached you? What is this final trial?" The Voidwalker's form seemed to grow more solid, more present. Now you must prove your species' unique quality is not mere chance but an evolved trait. The trial begins. Prepare yourselves. Without warning, the blue light returned, this time focused into narrow beams that targeted specific crew members. Before anyone could react, Dr. Okafor, Lieutenant Khan, and 3 others vanished from the bridge in flashes of brilliant energy. "What have you done with my crew?" Maya demanded, fury replacing fear. "They are unharmed, but separated, scattered throughout the Ancient's labyrinth. The final trial is one of cooperation, understanding, and choice. Find your people, Captain Maya Chen. Solve the puzzle that has defeated 1,000 species before you, or join them in eternal observation." The view screen went dark, leaving the remaining bridge crew staring at the massive sphere that now opened like a blooming flower, revealing a complex interior structure of tunnels, chambers, and mechanisms that defied human engineering understanding. Maya turned to her remaining officers, determination hardening her features. "Prepare a team. We're going in after our people." As they rushed to gather equipment, Engineer Zhu approached with a handheld scanner, her expression grave. "Captain, you should know. The sphere is generating some kind of temporal distortion field. Time moves differently inside. For every hour that passes for us. How much time for our missing crew?" Maya asked, dreading the answer. "Days, possibly weeks," Zhu replied. "We need to hurry." Maya nodded, checking her sidearm and grabbing an emergency pack. The mission had just transformed from scientific discovery to rescue operation. As she led her team toward the airlock that would connect them to the alien structure, she couldn't shake the feeling that humanity had just stumbled into something far beyond exploration. They had unwittingly entered a game designed by beings who had mastered space and time when humans were still learning to control fire. And somehow, they needed to win. The hidden truth of humanity. The interior of the alien sphere defied all physical laws Captain Maya Chen had ever known. Corridors shifted and reconnected as she led her team deeper into the structure, gravity changing orientation without warning, and light sources that had no discernible origin illuminated pathways that hadn't existed moments before. Their neural communicators crackled with interference, providing only intermittent contact with the Artemis. "This is impossible," muttered Commander Torres, consulting the 3-dimensional map they were attempting to construct. "We've passed through this junction 3 times, but the scanner shows different molecular compositions each time." Maya studied the walls around them, noticing how the metallic surface seemed to ripple slightly when observed directly. "It's adapting to us, testing how we respond." 8 hours into their search, they had found no trace of their missing crew members. The Voidwalker had not reappeared, and the only guidance came from occasional pulses of light along certain pathways, breadcrumbs in a cosmic labyrinth. "Captain, look at this," called Security Officer Larson, kneeling beside what appeared to be a control panel embedded in the floor. Unlike the flowing designs of the rest of the structure, this terminal featured distinct geometric patterns that pulsed with soft blue light. Maya approached cautiously. "Don't touch anything yet." Engineer Zhu scanned the panel with her diagnostic tool. "It's generating a quantum field similar to our holographic systems. I think it's waiting for input." Before anyone could stop him, Larson placed his palm against the surface. The panel immediately illuminated, projecting a 3-dimensional star map that filled the corridor around them. "That's our galaxy," Torres whispered in awe. "Not quite," Maya corrected, studying the configuration. "The star positions are wrong. This is the Milky Way, but from approximately 50,000 years ago." The map zoomed in on a spiral arm, highlighting a series of star systems. Images appeared, planets, some recognizable from historical records, others completely foreign. Then came images of species, insectoid beings with complex social structures, reptilian creatures that built massive underground cities, aquatic intelligences that communicated through bioluminescence. These must be the previous test subjects, Maya realized. The species that tried to pass the trial before us. The images change, showing these civilizations entering the dark expanse, finding the sphere, and then failure. Some turned against each other in panic. Others attempted to destroy the sphere. A few simply gave up, sitting in silence until their life support failed. What made them fail? Torres wondered aloud. The answer came in a familiar mind voice as the Voidwalker materialized beside them, its form more defined than before. They failed because they could not overcome their fundamental nature. The hive minds could not function when individuals were separated. The logical species could not solve puzzles that required emotional intelligence. The warriors could not conceive of solutions that did not involve conquest. Maya turned to face the entity. And what is our fundamental nature? What aspect of humanity are you testing? That is for you to demonstrate, not for me to reveal. A new image appeared in the hologram. Dr. Okafor, trapped in a chamber filling with a strange mist, frantically working at what appeared to be a complex mathematical sequence. She's alive, Zhu exclaimed. For now, the Voidwalker confirmed. Each of your crew faces a challenge tailored to their specific knowledge and abilities. Their success or failure contributes to your overall trial. Take me to them, Maya demanded. Now, that is not how the trial works, Captain. Each must be found through your own efforts. But I will offer this. Your missing crew members are not where you think they are. They exist in parallel spaces within this structure, accessible only through specific nodes. With that cryptic message, the Voidwalker vanished again, leaving them with the holographic map still displaying Dr. Okafor's predicament. Maya studied the mathematical sequence her science officer was working on. That's not just math, she realized suddenly. Those are coordinates, spatial and temporal. Zhu, can you correlate these with our current position? The engineer worked rapidly on her device. Yes, but, Captain, these coordinates exist within the sphere, but in a different phase state. We'd need to shift our quantum signature to access that space. Can we do that? Zhu hesitated. Theoretically, our emergency transporter beacons contain phase modulators. If I recalibrate them to match these specific coordinates. Do it, Maya ordered. 20 minutes later, they stood before a section of wall that appeared identical to every other surface they passed. Zhu activated the modified beacon, and the wall before them shimmered, becoming translucent. It worked, Torres exclaimed. Maya didn't wait. She stepped through the barrier, feeling a momentary disorientation as her molecules realigned. On the other side, she found Dr. Okafor, who looked up in shock, and then overwhelming relief. Captain, you found me. The scientist embraced Maya briefly before pulling back. I've been here for weeks. Time moves differently in these chambers. Weeks. Maya's stomach dropped. It's been less than 12 hours for us. Okafor nodded grimly. I've discovered something critical about this place. The entire structure is a neural network, a massive ancient consciousness designed to identify and evaluate potential inheritors of something the builders called the synthesis. What is the synthesis? Torres asked, having followed Maya through the barrier. Knowledge. Technology. Power beyond anything we've imagined, Okafor explained, leading them to her workstation, where complex diagrams covered multiple screens. But more importantly, it's a defense system. The Voidwalkers aren't the creators of this place. They're the previous failures, bound to the sphere, transformed into its guardians until a worthy successor is found. Maya felt a chill. They were once like us, test subjects. Exactly. And they've been waiting for 50,000 years. The progenitors, the builders, they seeded countless worlds with life, guided evolution, then vanished. This sphere contains their legacy, but also a warning. Okafor pulled up a new diagram. There's something coming, something the progenitors feared. The threat from beyond the galaxy that consumes advanced civilizations. How do you know all this? Maya asked. The chamber I was placed in contains historical archives. I think each of us was deliberately separated to gather different pieces of the puzzle. Okafor looked around nervously. We need to find the others quickly. Lieutenant Khan is in the most danger. He's in a chamber where the atmosphere changes composition every few hours. Using Dr. Okuffer's knowledge and Zhu's modified beacons, they systematically located and rescued the remaining crew members. Khan had survived by creating an ingenious filtration system from his equipment. Biologist Dr. Yamamoto had spent her time studying specimens of extinct alien life forms. Security Officer Chen had been placed in what appeared to be a combat simulation that tested ethical decision-making rather than fighting prowess. When they were finally reunited in a central chamber, the crew compared their experiences. Each had been tested not just on their technical knowledge, but on creativity, emotional intelligence, ethical reasoning, and adaptability. "The final challenge awaits," announced the Voidwalker, materializing in their midst. Around them, the chamber walls transformed into viewing screens showing a massive fleet of crystalline ships approaching the Milky Way. The Harvesters come, entities that consume civilizations that reach a certain technological threshold. They detected the progenitors' activities and destroyed them, all except for this sanctuary. That's what this is all about, Maya realized. You're not just testing us. You're looking for allies against these harvesters. Yes, the progenitors knew they would not survive, but they created this place to find species worthy of inheriting their knowledge and continuing the fight. 100 species have failed. None possessed the unique combination of traits required. And you think humans have these traits? Torres asked skeptically. Your species is unique in our observations. You possess contradictions that should not coexist. You are individual yet cooperative, logical yet emotional, peaceful yet warriors, short-lived yet forward-thinking. Most importantly, you adapt rapidly and think creatively in ways no other species we have tested can match. Dr. Okafor stepped forward. The mathematical problems I solved, they weren't just tests. They were components of a weapon system, weren't they? The Voidwalker's colors shifted to a deep purple. Yes, the final test requires activating the progenitor's defense network, dormant for millennia. But doing so requires a decision that has caused all previous candidates to fail. The chamber darkened, and a holographic control console appeared before them. Above it hovered a representation of the galaxy with thousands of points illuminated. The defense network can destroy the harvesters, but activating it will create a quantum disruption that will render faster-than-light travel impossible for approximately 1,000 years. Your civilization will be cut off from the stars you have only just begun to explore. The species that survive will be confined to their home systems until the effect dissipates. The implications hit Maya like a physical blow. Humanity had colonies on Mars, Europa, and had just established outposts in the Alpha Centauri system. Activating this defense would isolate these settlements from each other, potentially causing their collapse. Why would any species choose this? She demanded. To ensure the continued existence of all life in the galaxy, the Voidwalker replied simply. The harvesters will arrive within 100 of your years. Without intervention, they will systematically eliminate every technological civilization, then wait for new ones to emerge and repeat the cycle. Maya looked at her crew, seeing the weight of this impossible choice in their eyes. Is there no alternative? Can't we modify the defense system to target only the harvesters without affecting FTL travel? The Voidwalker seemed to consider this. No species has proposed such a modification before. All either refused to activate the system or activated it without concern for consequences. Engineer Zhu stepped forward cautiously. The quantum disruption effect. Can we see the technical specifications? To everyone's surprise, the Voidwalker agreed, bringing up complex schematics that filled the air around them. For the next several hours, the Artemis crew worked feverishly, applying their diverse knowledge to the ancient technology. Dr. Okuffer's mathematical insights, combined with Zhu's engineering expertise and Khan's unexpected background in theoretical physics, led to a breakthrough. Here, Maya pointed to a section of the design. If we reconfigure the deployment to create localized quantum bubbles around the harvester fleet instead of a galaxy-wide field, we could contain the disruption effect. It would require precise targeting. Khan cautioned. We'd need to constantly update the field parameters as they move. We could use Earth's deep space sensor network, Dr. Yamamoto suggested. If we provide the specifications, every observatory from Luna to Europa could be recalibrated to track the harvesters. The Voidwalker observed their collaboration with what seemed like growing interest, its colors shifting through patterns they hadn't seen before. In 50,000 years, no species has attempted to modify the defense system. They accepted the parameters as given, an interesting limitation we did not anticipate. Maya looked up from the schematics. That's what makes us human. We don't accept no-win scenarios. We find another way, even when the odds seem impossible. After days of work, they presented their modified defense plan. Rather than a single, galaxy-wide disruption field, they proposed a targeted network of quantum barriers that would isolate and neutralize the harvester fleet while minimizing impact on existing civilizations. It will require coordination between multiple species, Maya explained, each contributing resources and expertise based on their unique capabilities. The Voidwalker studied their proposal in silence, its form growing brighter until it was almost painful to look at directly. You have done what was thought impossible. You have passed the final trial not by accepting the parameters given to you, but by redefining them entirely. The chamber around them transformed, revealing a vast repository of knowledge, technologies, histories, and sciences from the progenitor's civilization that had remained hidden for millennia. The synthesis is yours. Use it wisely. Prepare your galaxy for what comes. As the Voidwalker spoke these words, its form began to dissolve, breaking apart into millions of points of light that spread throughout the chamber. The other Voidwalkers appeared, similarly dissolving, their energies merging with the sphere itself. We are released from our guardianship. After 50,000 years, we may finally rest. The burden now passes to you. The massive sphere began to change, sections opening and reconfiguring as ancient systems activated. The Artemis crew watched in awe as the structure that had been a testing ground transformed into something new, a beacon, a shield, and a weapon all in one. When they finally returned to their ship, they found that while weeks had passed for them inside the sphere, only 3 days had elapsed for the crew who had remained aboard. The Artemis's data banks were now filled with information that would take generations to fully understand. Clean energy systems, medical technologies that could extend human lifespan threefold, and defense systems capable of protecting Earth from threats beyond imagination. As they prepared to depart the dark expanse, Maya stood alone on the observation deck, watching as the transformed sphere began to emit pulses of energy that spread throughout the Forbidden Zone. Commander Torres joined her, his expression somber. What do we tell Earth? How do we explain what's happened here? Maya considered this question carefully. We tell them the truth, that humanity has been given an opportunity and a responsibility, that we're not alone in facing what's coming, but we need to lead the way. And the Galactic Council, they'll want to control this technology. They can try, Maya replied with a small smile. But the progenitors chose humanity for a reason. We think differently. We challenge assumptions. We find third options when only two seem possible. As the Artemis turned toward home, the dark expanse behind them began to clear. The swirling void replaced by normal space filled with stars. The Forbidden Zone was forbidden no more, transformed instead into a beacon of hope for a galaxy that would soon face its greatest challenge. Maya Chen looked forward, toward the distant light of Earth's sun. Set course for home, she ordered. We have a lot of work to do.